Welcome everyone. Welcome again to the series Experiences in Preparedness. Today we have one more logistic company called Tarachand Logistics. We have Himanshu Aggarwal with us as a promoter director of Tarachand. What Tarachand is into is they basically manage the warehouses, especially for the steel industry, provide complete end-to-end solution to them. That is one part of their business. And second part of their business is they are into the equipment leasing and project management for the infrastructure related projects. So I am sure that they will have some kind of a insight what Tarachand is doing and what kind of a difficulty they are facing, or challenges, or the opportunity. So welcome, Himanshu.
Good morning, Mr. Sharma. Thank you for the introduction and having Tarachand as part of this series.
And we have Rachna also with us, representing NSE. Good morning, Rachna.
Good morning, Deepak, and thank you for having us on this series today. And welcome, Himanshu. Welcome to this experience sharing series.
Thank you, ma'am. Happy to be here.
So Himanshu, let's begin the chat by understanding that you're also pretty young to see this kind of a pandemic. So what is your basic understanding or maybe general feeling about this pandemic?
On the general feeling front, I would say it's basically brought back age-old tradition as far as the Indian traditions are concerned of maintaining basic hygiene and basic distance, as far as as we were reading earlier, that other countries had adopted the Namaste tradition instead of the handshake. So this has in one way brought back certain aspects or enhanced certain aspects of the Indian tradition worldwide, but otherwise the challenges that it has brought in as far as the the disease itself or the medical conditions that it has brought in, they obviously are very challenging. And my heart goes out to people who are the frontline workers, especially bringing it out there in the open. Be it our doctors, be it the policemen out there on the roads, or the other civilians who are part of the activity of ensuring essential services during the this pandemic scenario. And that is the biggest. That also, I guess, goes to show the kind of cultural traditions we've had in our country, where people are willing to sacrifice their own interests and be out there for the country and for the countrymen, to be able to give us, people like us, the opportunity to be at home, be safe, and look forward to a future that probably is pretty uncertain at this point in time. But still, with the hard work that everybody is putting in, with all the sacrifices that people are putting in, I'm sure things would become better sooner than later.
Himanshu, as far as your business is concerned, and although you are in logistics, but your logistics services are related to core industry, steel on one side and infrastructure on the other side.
Right.
So what is the status of your business and the kind of challenges you are going through?
On the business front, the one challenge that has come forward is, as things have progressed, because all of the pandemic scenario had led to all our construction sites, at least the infrastructure project sites, coming to a halt, per se, when the lockdown was announced. And but the transportation and logistics, because of it being part of the essential services, and warehouses were also given certain relaxations. So that activity was on at a reduced operational level, as per the requirement of our principals, which are predominantly Steel Authority of India Limited and Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited. We have also had operations continuing at places like ONGC, where we have our equipment deployed in their warehouse management or their facility management, and even in manufacturing units, where the activity was allowed as part of essential services. But more than about 60% of the activity was on a halt for the since 24th of March till the end of April. In the last week of April, things have started opening up a little bit with basic restrictions in place and these new safety guidelines as far as COVID-19 are concerned. So we've made sure that all those safety guidelines are being followed, and slowly things are getting back to, it's a start. It is a slow start, slow restart, I would say. The challenge that we understand that sites are facing currently is the availability of labor or non-availability, I must say, because the ground level people who are even available, they are scared to go out and work, and the others, because of the migrant workers, guideline that the government has come out with for their movement to other states once they receive the necessary permissions. So people are more keen on moving out rather than continuing in their current position and working. So that is one big challenge that is definitely being faced at sites. However, the silver lining is there are people, even it is heartening to see people at the daily wage earner level who are able to understand the situation. They understand that moving right now would rather be more disastrous than actually helping them. So they have approached. We've also had cases where people have approached us, or they have reached out to the principal employers and said that we are willing to work. Let's start the work. So it's a mixed bag at present, and we are all trying to work out the best possible way to ensure things roll back into a moving wheel.
Himanshu, how about a challenge which most of the SMEs are facing is the management of the cash flows. So
Right.
how's your P&L is or balance sheet is strong enough to face this challenge, or any challenge you are facing currently?
See, we are in a similar scenario as far as other SMEs are concerned, and for us, the biggest challenge has been that we are being in the infrastructure development sector. We are heavily dependent on the equipment that we deploy, so which comes with the exposure from banks as well. So we've first and foremost, the provisions that have been given by the government, we've made sure that we take advantage of all the possible the guidelines that have come in, as far as especially the moratorium on EMIs and other working capital facilities that they have opened up, which haven't yet been taken up by us, but though that could be another area which we would look into. The other thing is we have requested all our clients, we've been after them to help us out in this scenario, and some have promised that they are looking at it and they would help us in the cash flow management, but it is a challenge. Yes, definitely.
And since the government has given some relaxation on the construction work, especially on the infra side, so how about that vertical? Has it started moving now, or still you are waiting to go?
Yes, as I was explaining earlier, it has started moving with the possibility of it getting better in the coming days. Only if the migrant workers, because most of these infra sites are dependent predominantly on at the ground level on the migrant workers who are working there. So especially if you talk about a place like Mumbai, where we are working extensively on development of the Mumbai metro lines. So there that challenge is there. But as I said, the silver lining is there that some people are understanding the scenario even at that daily wage worker level, and they are willing to contribute towards the work restarting rather than having that wish to go back home, because the challenge in getting back home is also as big as working at site. So it is coming as a mixed bag as of now, but things have started. We've seen about 70% of the work starting, but it is obviously not what it used to be before the pandemic hit the country. And as our Honorable Prime Minister has said, we have to brace for the new normal. So I guess we are all now trying to understand what the new normal is going to be about and how we can contribute towards ensuring that the new normal is also as good as normal.
Rachna,
I think Rachna's
my phone is muted. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Himanshu, what's your key takeaway from this kind of a disruption that has happened? And what's your future planning in terms of a long-term and a short-term strategy to ensure that you have a sustainable and business continuity for time to come?
On the biggest takeaway, I would say that the takeaway is that uncertain times can come anytime. So we have to be mentally prepared, most importantly, to handle such a scenario. And the best thing that I have gotten to understand is, as a culture in the company, we've always we've always talked of our people as a family. So when we interacted with our people through VCs and through phone calls, with our operating crew who are at sites who we do not get to usually see even in the normal scenario as well. So they have a very strong belonging towards the company, and that was very heartening to see. So that this period, this unfortunate period, has given us that opportunity to reach out to our people all the more and help us understand that there are people, and these people are so much so part of this family. Whatever we actually are saying is happening on the ground as well. So, and we had the opportunity to interact with the families of these people as well through conference calls again. So that further they further emphasize that they feel that their children, their people, their husbands, whosoever are working with us are at a safe place. So that was one of the biggest takeaways, if I put it that way, is that it is as a company, it gives you that confidence that we are building something. We are very small at present. It's a small company with 1,000 odd people together. So we are building something which should last for a long time, and a legacy can be created out of it.
Himanshu.
Yeah, I'm sure the engagement that you've had with your stakeholders and your employees, I think, we've seen it also in the way Tarachand was able to declare their annual results on the 30th of April. So I must say that's a commendable achievement for an SME company to come up with results within 1 month of financial year closure. So I'm sure it's the engagement, it's the systems in place that is already in place, right, and your employees.
Absolutely, thank you. Now, one thing that has helped us is we, in the very first year when we got listed, we voluntarily chose to declare quarterly results. So with that kind of discipline and internal hygiene that we have created in the company, that has helped us to be prepared even in these uncertain times, to be able to get people together to declare the results, as you rightly said, on the 30th. Which we also felt when we were declaring the results, it sunk in then that is quite an achievement. Thank you.
Himanshu, while talking with various people, one thing is coming out very clearly, that going forward, the normal is going to be not the normal. There will be new normal, be it relationship based, be it business. So what do you think that what are going to be the new normals for your business?
The biggest, or not necessarily the biggest, I guess, the new normals that would come in is there is going to be reduced physical face-to-face interaction in person. And as we are doing right now, we are interacting over a VC. So that has already come into place, and it will only further be increased in the coming time, that people would be more and more keen that we meet, but we meet virtually. So that is one definite new normal that is going to be there. Two, in my view, for a city like Mumbai, I feel this would rather enable more productivity from a work front as far as office people are concerned, because half of our time goes in traveling. Now, if I go to a client, we have to visit clients who are mostly in Andheri, or they're sitting in BKC, Santa Cruz, all those areas, and we are from Navi Mumbai. So for me, traveling to meet them, and it is usually a discussion of about 15 to 20 minutes. So my entire day actually ends up in the travel process itself. So that would rather be cut down now, and things would be discussed over VCs, and people would be able to reduce their I would say unutilizable time. Or obviously, people say it is you can use your time while traveling for doing other activity. But I'd rather sit in an office and do it rather than having to sit in a car and do it. So that new normal would also be into place. Engagement with people, as I was talking about, engagement with our own people, as we've started. We were already doing it, but we have taken it to the next level. So that obviously would also increase, because everybody, all management would want that they are aware at what levels the people are currently engaged, and how better to engage them to make sure that they are safe, they are ensuring the necessary safety guidelines that are there. As a company, in principle, we've for about I think it's been a decade now, we adopted our slogan as our motto, safety in toto, and in Hindi it is Hamara Sankalp Sampoorn Suraksha. Even our caller tune is based on that. So we've had those basic guidelines in place. Now with the new normal, we are adding on the COVID-19 safety procedures as well, apart from just ensuring safety of men and machinery from a industrial workforce perspective. That was already there, be it the personal protection equipment, the helmets, the shoes, and stuff like that. So now the new normal is that the mask is an important part of the PPE, personal protection equipment, and distancing is the new normal. So even at construction sites, one factor that people are thinking on and they're talking about is how to ensure the necessary distancing guidelines, because in a construction site, the number of people are more, the spaces are not as vast as one would like them to be. How the use of equipment, like we were having a discussion with one of our OEMs yesterday, the equipment providers, and we were talking about, one of the process in infra development is concreting. The pre-mixed concrete has to be put into these pillars and different components, which are called the precast elements for concreting activity. So with the there are mobile boom placers which can stand at a distance of about 30-35 meters, or some or lesser distance probably, and ensure the concrete activity with lesser number of people. So those processes would come into more use in a more active way, so that would also further enhance the productivity probably at site, and ensure the safety guidelines for COVID are taken care of. So there are going to be industry specific new normals, and there are going to be general new normals, as we were just discussing. So that is how I see things going forward.
Thank you, Himanshu. I think with this new normals, your order book remains in the old normals. I wish you all the best. And thank you for being with us. Thank you, Rachna. Thank you, Himanshu.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure, and interacting with you, Mr. Sharma, and obviously with Ms. Rachna is always a pleasure talking to her.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.